everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your monthly angel card reading for March 2016. And if you're newly listening to this video on my channel, you'll also want to pay attention to and listen to the weekly angel card readings as well. So for this reading, we're going to be using a different deck than I normally do. I normally use Doreen Virtue's Angel Tarot deck, but my guides and angels guided me to use the Syrian Starseed Tarot deck by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha. Your special message card, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Messages from Your Angels Oracle deck, which is by Doreen Virtue. Before we get into the astrology and the numerology vibration for this month of March, let me show you what your stones of choice are so you can think about what you want to pick for your special message card. Your first stone of choice is selenite. This is a beautiful piece, like a little selenite wand. And selenite is a stone that vibrates to the crown chakra. It's really good for getting in touch with higher dimensional energies, opening up the crown chakra, getting in touch with your angels and guides for guidance. It also assists you with getting in touch with past lives as well. Your second stone of choice for your special message card is volcanic glass. This actually does come from the molten lava of a volcano, and once it has dried or hardened or cooled, it becomes this black volcanic glass. And it's called volcanic glass because it has that glass-like effect, almost a mirror type of effect, to where it helps to reflect certain aspects of yourself that you need to be aware of. And this would be things that you want to heal or release or let go of, maybe some of the ego mind or what we might call quote-unquote shadow aspects. And that's not to be a scary thing, but just to be something that deals with your thought forms or old emotions or belief systems that it's time to heal and you're ready to let go of so that you can be moving forward on your path in a much better way. So again, this is volcanic glass. Your third stone of choice, this is called bloodstone. And this is a deep, dark, kind of mossy green color, but you can see that it's got red and orange little flecks in it, which is why they call it bloodstone. Now, interestingly enough, bloodstone does help with physical health matters. So it can help to heal those physical health matters. It can also heal matters that deal with emotions and feelings. So emotional wounds, it can help to heal as well. So this is all about emotional and physical healing, which again relates to that heart chakra. So if felt like there's been a heaviness in your heart, or you feel like your energy is weighed down in any way, this would be a wonderful stone of choice for you for this month. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the energies of March. March is actually a 12 vibration month, okay? So in numerology, we figure out what the universal vibration of the year is, and 2016 is a 9 universal year, and we add that 9 universal year energy to the month of March, which is the third month, and we get the number 12. Now we will go a step further and reduce the 12 down, 1 plus 2, and we get a 3. So that in actuality, it's actually a 3-month on that lower level. So I'm going to talk a little bit about both. First, let's talk about the 3 vibration. In a 3 universal month, it's a time of growth and expansion. If you think of the number 3, the one side of the number 3 kind of opens up and expands. And it's kind of likened to the planet Jupiter, which right now Jupiter is a big theme over the last few months and for the next few months because it's retrograding back in the sign of Virgo right now. And it's trying to expand our perceptions. And that's going to be the same thing with this month of March being a universal 3 month. We're trying to expand our learning and expand our ideas and expand our perceptions to look at things in a different and new way. It's kind of the energy of the student in a way. It can also be the energy of the teacher. So it's a teacher-student kind of energy to where there's learning and teaching going on with that number 3 vibration. Now the number 3 is also likened to prosperity and abundance, which again goes to that expansion principle, expanding things out so that there's more prosperity and abundance, or blessings if you like, coming to you. And that doesn't just mean on a monetary level, but it can be blessings or prosperity and abundance on a lot of different levels, on a spiritual level, different ways. Now, when we look at the vibration of the number 12, remember the 9 plus 3, the third month of the year, March, equals 12. I liken that to the major arcana, and the 12th major arcana in the tarot is the Hanged Man. And again, this brings in that similar kind of idea of looking at things from a different perspective of reality, because the Hanged Man in the tarot is hanging upside down from a branch traditionally, and he's hanging by one foot, and his other leg is crossed over. And so it's not that he's tied there, but he's hanging there by choice. It's kind of like he's suspended in midair and suspended upside down in midair, so that he's forced to look at things from a different vantage point, a different viewpoint, and a different perspective. And again, that's allowing him to learn and grow, because he's thinking about things in a way that he's never thought about them before, or he's seeing things from a space that he's never quite seen them before. And that's all what the number 12 is about. It does have an energy, though, because that Hanged Man is suspended, of although there is some growth and expansion, it's more on the mental realm and maybe not quite the physical realm yet, but it's getting there, and there could be some physical growth. But there's a tendency that there's kind of a suspension of activity. And the suspension of activity or action is because there's a learning process going on with the Hanged Man. And that learning process has to take place before the actions can be set into motion. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the astrology of the month of March. Now, in my weekly readings, I go more in depth into the astrology week by week. So for the monthly reading, I'm just going to hit the highlights. But there's a lot of planets that are changing signs in the month of March. Plus, we have eclipse season this month. So we have a new Moon Solar Eclipse and a full Moon Lunar Eclipse this month. And whenever we have eclipses, we have heightened energy of movement. Now, this might be mental movement or spiritual movement, but physical movement I feel like is going to come in maybe towards the latter part of the month. So let's start with some of the things that start at the beginning of the month. On March 5th, we have 2 different planets changing signs. One of those planets is Mercury, and Mercury deals with our thoughts, our communication, the mental realm. And Mercury is going to be actually moving out of Aquarius, where it's been for the past 3 weeks or so maybe, and it's moving into the sign of Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac, and Pisces is also a very spiritual sign as well. So Mercury being a mental and logical planet moving into a spiritual sign like Pisces, you really have to merge logic and reason with faith and trust. So this is going to heighten your intuitive capabilities if you learn to trust them and have faith rather than trying to pick things apart and understand them from a logical perspective. So again, Mercury, in Pisces, it's going to be very artistic and very creative and very, again, flowing with that divine feminine energy of psychic senses and intuitions and deep knowingness and spiritual insights. The other planet that's changing signs is Mars. Now, Mars is a planet of action, and for a little while, it's been in the sign of Scorpio. Now, Mars is a fire kind of a planet, and moving through Scorpio, which is a water sign, it's kind of dulled down that ability to move forward and take action on certain things. But now Mars is moving into the sign of Sagittarius on the 5th of March. And it's only going to be there for a short time because it's going to retrograde back into Scorpio. But that won't be until the month of April. So we have a little while here while Mars is in Sagittarius. Again, Mars is a fire planet. It's going into Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. Fast movement. There's going to be a little spurt of movement and action. And even though I said in the beginning with the Hanged Man that there might not be a lot of action, I do feel like there's going to be a little bit of a spurt here to where things will move forward and move forward fast before Mars retrogrades back into Scorpio. This is really inspiring and creative with Mars in Sagittarius. It's also about moving into and opening up to, again, expanded perception and other ideas and seeing the big picture or the larger picture, because that's the type of energy that Sagittarius deals with. Now on March 8th, we have a new Moon Solar Eclipse, and that's going to be at 19 degrees Pisces. Now, the solar eclipse energy, again, it heightens the energy of this particular sign, which is Pisces. A new moon is always about new beginnings, but remember Pisces is a spiritual sign. So this is going to be new beginnings of a spiritual nature. New beginnings as far as, again, seeing things from a spiritual perspective or heightening your spiritual abilities or gifts. This is also about being more creative and more compassionate and more unconditionally loving. So all of these energies are going to be heightened with this new Moon Solar Eclipse. This is showing a new beginning for us on a spiritual level. So it's about our evolution and growth. We're evolving, we're expanding our consciousness, and the energy is going to be heightened even more so because it's an eclipse energy. Now, on March 12th, we have another planet moving into another sign. Venus, the planet of love and relationships, as well as money and finances, is going to be moving out of Aquarius and into the sign of Pisces. So Venus joins Mercury now in this spiritual sign of Pisces, where the Sun also is. So we have the Sun now, Mercury, and Venus all in this sign that deals with the collective energy, unconditional love, God source energies, compassion, unity consciousness. Now on the 16th, actually we have Jupiter trining Pluto, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about that because I will talk about that when we get to the weekly reading that will pertain to that. But Jupiter again expands, and Pluto is about our sense of power or taking back our power. This is a positive indication that we'll be expanding into and taking back our power in some way, shape, or form around that time. On the 20th of March, the Sun moves into Aries. This is the normal time of year that the Sun moves into Aries. It's the new beginning. It's the true astrological new beginning, according to astrologers, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and it's about springtime. It's about the birth of spring-like energies and the birth of something new. And on the very next day, on the 21st, Mercury also moves into the sign of Aries. So you see how fast Mercury actually moved through that sign of Pisces, because it went into Pisces on March 5th. Now it's going into Aries on March 21st, which is again the day after the spring equinox. The Sun moves into Aries. Now we have this true energy of new beginnings at our feet. Then on the 23rd, 2 days later, we actually have the full moon lunar eclipse. Okay, so here's the second eclipse of the month. This full moon lunar eclipse is going to be at 3 degrees of Libra, which is the sign of balance and harmony, and it's a sign of justice. And it is the sign of relationships and partnerships of all kinds. So you might find the day or two or on the day of this full moon lunar eclipse that there's changes and things going on within all of our relationships. But the other thing that I feel that this full moon lunar eclipse is about justice being served. Again, this is about balance, harmony, and justice. And I feel like the scales of justice are finally coming in to show themselves, okay? So whatever it is we've been working hard towards, whatever it is we've been trying to understand, whatever it is we've been trying to heal or or take action on. I feel like now is the time. It's like all these planets are now starting to move into Aries. Mercury and the Sun are now in Aries. Soon we'll probably have Venus next month going into Aries. So it's a true time of new beginnings, new opportunities, new directions. And again, it's about spiritual justice being served. And then one last thing that's a huge thing is that on the 25th of March, Saturn, which a lot of astrologers call the Lord of Karma, but it's about the great teacher, the teacher of lessons, the teacher of karmic lessons on a third dimensional earthly level. And that planet Saturn is going to go stationary retrograde at 16 degrees of Sagittarius. And it's going to be retrograde for a little while, but whenever a planet goes retrograde, the energies turn inward, and it's about reflecting on what those energies mean. And again, Saturn being the teacher, the great teacher. And with Saturn being in the sign of Sagittarius, which is again about our expanded perceptions, expanded ideas, the big picture of our life. And also Sagittarius rules, I feel, blessings. Now, some of the other things it rules education, it rules religion of a third dimensional level. It rules long distance travel. It rules teaching and learning. So again, all of these things now are starting to turn inward, meaning we're going to start to reflect on these things even more on an inner soul level and try to put the pieces in place to understand things, understand what our belief systems are, not what we've been told to or brought up to believe, but what do I truly believe as a soul? What's my truth? And to own my truth and to, again, expand my viewpoint beyond perhaps what I normally would think or what I've normally seen or understood, because now I want to expand my view and look at things from a higher vantage point, a higher spiritual vantage point. So a lot going on in March, really, really powerful energy in March. Let's go ahead and look at the 3 cards. I already meditated and chose 3 cards from the Syrian Starseed Tarot as far as what our message for the month is. So the first card we'll turn over and take a look at. Okay, the Seeker of Flames, and I just love the imagery on these cards. These cards are beautiful. The Seeker in the regular tarot deck is the Page, and the flames are the fire element or wands. And so in effect we have the Page of Wands or the Page of Fire here with the Seeker of Flames. The Seeker is a young energy, okay? When we think of the court cards, we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. And again, the Seeker being the Page is the youngest of the energies. And so it's kind of like that childlike energy of just starting out, being a novice, being maybe a little naive, being in a state of curiousness like a child, or curiosity, I should say, like a child, and wanting to learn everything there is to learn. The flames, again, is fire, which is the spiritual element. And you can see this person kind of down on her knees and looking up to the fire, looking up to the flame, raising her hands. She's seeking something. She's looking for something. She's looking for spiritual knowledge and information. Spiritual knowledge and information that perhaps she didn't know, perhaps she hasn't come upon yet, she hasn't had a good understanding of yet, but she's definitely in a place of looking and being open to. Her arms are open, so she's open to what that new knowledge is. She's open to that new information. Perhaps the way she's been looking at things or thinking about things or believing in things hasn't quite lived up to making any sense. And so with her seeking this new knowledge or seeking this new wisdom, and just in the beginning stages of it, she again is open to accepting what it is that she's going to be shown or what she is being shown. But let's go ahead and take a look at the second card. Maybe it'll give us more information. Okay, interesting. This is Major Arcana number 5. And in this deck, it's called Guidance. Now, in the traditional tarot deck, this card, Major Arcana number 5, is the Hierophant. And what's interesting to me is that it was in the last weekly reading. February 22nd through the 28th, right before this new month came about, we had the Hierophant card, or Major Arcana number 5, in that reading as well. So there's a theme here to where this energy is still in place. And just like the card says, this is seeking some sort of higher guidance or wisdom. Now, you can see here that the statue of Buddha is shown, and above Buddha, there's actually the Sphinx energy. And that Sphinx energy relates to ancient Egypt, the wisdom of ancient Egypt, that ancient civilization, which in some people's minds in the metaphysical field, and I have to agree I'm one of those people, feel that some of the ancient Atlantean culture ended up, after the cataclysms, moving to the Egyptian area and becoming those of Egypt. And so again, there's this higher knowledge and higher wisdom that is associated with this card. Now, the Hierophant card, which again is this guidance card, often is associated with some sort of external authority, external spiritual authority, or spiritual teacher that you seek for answers to your questions. Now, I feel that you need to couple this with the Seeker of Flames, okay? Now, to me, the guidance card is maybe you do need to get some guidance. Maybe you need to get a reading. Maybe you need to go get some healing session from someone who's a spiritual authority. Maybe you need to take some classes or workshops to get more information, or just talk to somebody who can give you a different perspective or information that you're seeking that you may not have. But I also want to say that I think you should remember that the Seeker of Flames, that you need to seek that information within yourself as well. As that guidance card, the Hierophant card, often again portends to looking for that spiritual information from a spiritual authority outside of yourself. I want to say also look within, because it's truly your inner guidance that matters. You know, even though we might at times need other people's perspectives or wisdom, because maybe we don't have all the answers, or maybe we just don't really even know what to look for. That's okay. But remember too that in meditation and connecting with your higher soul self and your higher self, your inner guide, that you need to seek that wisdom within yourself. You need to trust yourself and have faith that your soul, which is connected to God source energies, is going to give you the answers that you seek. So you might need to also, again, connect with other people or someone that's going to help you. But don't forget that you're needing to seek that information, that truth within yourself. Let's go ahead and look at the third card for the month. This is really good. And this actually makes me think of the Sun and then Mercury moving into Aries on the 20th and 21st of March. The Four of Flames, okay? So we had a fire card to begin with, and we have a fire card to end with. But the Seeker of Flames in the beginning was just seeking that spiritual wisdom and knowledge, or spiritual information. The Four of Flames now brings it into a more secure form, a more solid form. There's a sense of a spiritual foundation now that's being formed with the number 4. And if you look, there's 4 flames, but it relates to this castle, a very solid and secure structure, and a path that you walk to the entrance to something new, this entrance to this new beginning that you're looking for on a spiritual realm. So the Four of Flames, sometimes from a relationship perspective, the Four of Flames means that there's a commitment or security within a relationship that's coming. It's often associated with the marriage card. But in this particular deck, I feel like it's more about our sense of our spiritual journey and feeling more secure in our spiritual journey and in our spiritual direction and in where we're going. And whatever it might be that your destiny path is all about, whatever ideas or goals that you might have that you're working towards, and whether it be career or family, home, money, or relationship related, this is a good card that towards the end of the month of March, I feel like things are starting to feel a little bit more solid. You have the ground beneath your feet so that you feel you're on solid ground and you're ready to have this better understanding and a better sense of inner security as to who you are, what your truth is, what you really need to, or what you really should believe, which is your inner truth, and what actions you need to take for yourselves. So this is a really, really wonderful reading. Now let's take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. And the first stone, remember, was selenite. So this is again from the messages from your angels, and we're asking for message for the selenite people. And I just look for a card that stands out to me or that pops up in some way, and actually they said no, not that one. So in our patience and understanding, let's kind of tune in and ask our angels to show us what card is the message for selenite people. This one's popping up. Yay, we got one. Adriana. And the message on the bottom of this card says, I am leading you towards the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps I am communicating through your intuition, thoughts, and dreams. And I just noticed, if you look on the bottom corner of this card, it has a castle. Just like the Four of Wands had a castle. So I feel very good that you selenite people, if you just open up to your guides and your angels' guidance, you're definitely being given messages. The messages might be through the waking time, maybe through other people that are acting as an intermediary to you, for your guides and angels. The answers might be coming, or the messages might be coming through your dream time or through your meditation time. But whatever way it's coming, be assured, just the angel on this card is leading that child up the steps, up to the next step on that little child's path. So your angels and guides are leading you as well. So pay attention to the signs, ask for the signs, believe in the signs when they come to you, believe in yourself, and move forward. This is a very positive card for you in moving forward towards your dreams, towards the security that you desire. Okay. For those of you that chose the volcanic glass, okay, volcanic glass people, this one's sticking up. Crystal, it says, have faith and hope because there is something positive and new on the horizon that you can't yet see. And if you look at that card, it almost looks like the angel is a little sad. You know, I guess she's just standing there and she looks almost a little discouraged. And so for those of you that chose the volcanic glass, maybe as you've moved from the beginning of this year, January, now through February, now we're into March, maybe things have been slow moving. Maybe they haven't turned out the way you envisioned. Maybe the intentions that you set, you haven't seen the next step towards them yet. So this is saying, your angels are saying to have hope. Have hope, because just as over the horizon there, you can see the sun is rising above the horizon, the sun is shining. Now, she's not looking at the horizon, so she can't really see the sunshine. She's just kind of looking down in discouragement. So I feel like you need to look up, you need to open your eyes, you need to feel confident, you need to have a knowingness, a feeling and a knowingness that there is something coming. And I feel like it's coming this month. Maybe the latter part of the month when we have that full moon lunar eclipse and the sun and Mercury are in that first sign of the zodiac. That's when I feel the true new beginning is going to start. Maybe even going into April, you might have a little bit more clarity. But have faith and hope, because there is a turning point. There is something positive that's coming. Okay. For those of you that chose the bloodstone, okay, let's see what message the angels have for the bloodstone people. Okay, shuffling. This one's sticking out. And this one says Maya. Okay, let me read what's on the bottom here. Schooling, study, and education help your life's purpose and personal growth at this time. The angels will guide you and help you with this process. Okay. So this is kind of that whole 3 universal month energy, or the 12 energy vibration of the month. This is about spiritual growth and evolution of your soul. This is about learning something new. So this could be quite literal in that maybe you need to go back to school or take some sort of classes or workshops. They could be spiritually related, but they could be related to anything that deals with maybe your career and destiny path that you need to learn about. But this could also be not taking a formal class or workshop. This could be about researching new information on your own, or just being open. Again, open your crown chakra and open your mind to look at things from a different perspective. Allow your belief systems to maybe take on a different direction. Kind of be that hanged man, you know. Hang yourself upside down and look at things from a totally different vantage point. Now, the angels and guides are saying maybe a way to kind of initiate this process is by just doing certain things that you might do the same all the time. Do them a different way. This could be like driving to a store. Drive a different route. Or if you wear the same type of clothes all the time, wear something a little bit different. If you have a certain routine in the morning, change that routine up. I feel like you need to break up the sameness of your regular routine on a physical level so that you can open yourself on a spiritual/mental level to, again, different thoughts or different ideas or different perspectives on things. And some of it I do feel is spiritual. This shape in the background kind of reminds me of a geometric shape that we might see with Archangel Raziel, or maybe even Archangel Metatron, dealing with the crystal and rainbow children, the indigo children. I feel like there's more to learn here, that you're here as a student in this month of March to, again, move forward and expand yourself, expand your creativity, expand your networking capabilities, expand your thought processes and your belief systems. But there's new things on the horizon here that you're going to be made aware of. So I hope you've liked this monthly angel card reading. I want to take a moment to thank all of you for watching my videos, commenting on my videos, sharing my videos. If you like this video or the weekly videos, please subscribe to my channel. Also, there's Facebook posts that I do on a daily basis to help guide you. Astrologically, I do posts on my Colleen Lemma Facebook page. And then I also do spiritually empowering posts on my Sacred Soul Empowerment Facebook page. And for those of you that would like a more personal reading or healing session with me, please check out my services on sacredsoulempowerment.com. I would love to help you and assist you on your growth and evolution, on your expansion of consciousness, on stepping into your truth and being your best and highest self. So until next month or until next week, I send you all many, many blessings of love and light. Take care, everyone.